The Blessed Virgin Mary was raised there and received the Annunciation there.
After many years of silence, the tomb of the Virgin Mary has finally been opened. This groundbreaking event has uncovered shocking revelations that have been kept from the world for decades, revealed deep secrets that could shake the foundation of faith, and has piqued the curiosity of billions of people across the world regarding her final days. Did Mary peacefully pass?
Around the world have been flocking to a site where the Virgin Mary is said to have first appeared back in 1981.
Face a martyr's end or ascend directly to heaven? Could this discovery unravel the very fabric of Christian tradition? Join us as we uncover the shocking secrets that the Virgin Mary's tomb has concealed for years.
Vandals set fire to a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary outside a church in Boston.
Early stories and beliefs about Mary. After Jesus died and was resurrected, stories about him and his family began to circulate widely. As these stories were passed down, they changed from person to person, leading to different ideas about how Mary's life ended. Some people believed she peacefully passed away in her sleep at an old age, while others believed she died as a martyr. A small group even believed that she never died and was taken up to heaven in the same manner as Enoch and Elijah. Mary, also known as the Virgin Mary, is one of the most respected figures in religious books. She is the birth mother of Jesus Christ, who is the center of Christianity. While her son Jesus is more famous, Mary's story is just as impactful, from how her conception came to be to her love and dedication as a mother. Interestingly, Mary's life is mentioned in at least two ancient texts, the Christian Bible and the Jewish text called Toledot Yeshu. These texts give different details about her life, but they both agree that she was the mother of Jesus Christ, who is sometimes called Yeshua. Even though there aren't many objects linked to Mary, there is still a location linked to her. In Jerusalem's Kidron Valley, at the foot of the Mount of Olives, there's a tomb that many believe is where Mary was buried. The Kidron Valley is a holy place that has been associated with her for a long time. And in that same valley, one would find the graves of Absalom, Jehoshaphat, and Zechariah. The Garden of Gethsemane and the Church of All Nations can also be found there. The supposed tomb of Mary was discovered in this historically significant area, and local Christian communities hold it in high regard. Mary's story has inspired countless works of art and literature throughout history. In the Catholic Church, the belief in her being taken up to heaven is one of four key teachings about her. This belief shows how much importance Mary holds in the Christian faith. Also, the Eastern Orthodox Church has a similar belief called the Dormition, which means falling asleep. Both traditions celebrate these events with special feast days each year. While there are different ideas about what happened to Mary at the end of her life, the most important remains her role as Jesus' mother and her example of faith to millions of people around the world. What exactly is the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and the events surrounding the end of her life? The Assumption of Mary and Church Doctrines. The Catholic Church has a special belief about Mary called the Assumption. This simply means that they believe Mary was taken up to heaven, body and soul, at the end of her earthly life. On November 1st, 1950, Pope Pius XII officially declared this belief as a doctrine of the Church. He did this in a document called Munificentissimus Deus. This declaration was connected to another important Catholic belief about Mary, the Immaculate Conception, which says Mary was born without original sin, just like Jesus. Even though the Assumption is now an official teaching, there are still some questions about it. For instance, some Catholics wonder if Mary died before she was taken up to heaven, or if she went straight to heaven without dying. The first idea is called the moralistic interpretation, while the second is known as the immoralistic interpretation. Over time, many scholars have come to prefer the moralistic view, based on their study of Christian traditions, prayers, and scriptures. The Eastern Orthodox Church, which split from the Catholic Church in 1054, has a similar but slightly different belief. They call it the Dormition of the Mother of God, which means Mary fell asleep peacefully instead of experiencing a regular death. Every year on August 15th, Catholics celebrate the Feast of the Assumption. This is a special day to remember and honor Mary's journey to heaven. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, they celebrate the Dormition on the same day. These celebrations have been happening for a long time. Historical records show that around the year 600, the Eastern Roman Emperor Maurice made the Assumption a public holiday. Not all Christian groups agree about the Assumption. Protestant churches have different views. Some accept it, some reject it, and others aren't sure. The Anglican Church, for example, is divided on this issue. Some Anglican members strongly believe in the Assumption, while others don't accept it. Originally, it wasn't part of Anglican teachings, but in the 20th century, some Anglicans, especially Anglo-Catholics, started to accept it under different names. Despite these differences, Mary remains an important figure in Christianity, respected for her role as Jesus' mother and her example of faith. How did the story of Mary's Assumption grow and change over time? Evolution and spread of Assumption stories. The belief in Mary's Assumption didn't appear overnight. It developed slowly over many centuries. In the early days of Christianity, there weren't any written accounts of what happened to Mary at the end of her life. The first stories about her Assumption started as oral traditions, passed down by word of mouth among early Christians. One of the earliest written mentions of something like the Assumption comes from a text called the Liber Requiem Mariae. This book, written sometime between the 2nd and 3rd centuries, tells stories about Mary's last days. However, historians don't consider it very reliable because many of its stories don't match what early Christians generally believed. As time went on, more stories about Mary's Assumption began to appear. By the 5th century, texts like De Obitus Domini and De Transitu Virginis were supporting the idea that Mary had been taken up to heaven. Important religious figures like Dionysius the Areopagite and Gregory of Tours also wrote about similar stories. These writings helped spread the belief in Mary's Assumption among Christians. Interestingly, not everyone agreed on the details of what happened. In the 4th century, a bishop named Epiphanius of Salamis tried to find out the truth about Mary's final days. He couldn't find any solid information, and he came across different and sometimes conflicting stories. Some people believed Mary was taken up to heaven while still alive, like the prophet Elijah in the Old Testament. Others thought she died first and then was taken to heaven. By the 6th century, the idea of Mary's Assumption was officially recognized in the Church, and by the 8th century it was widely accepted among Christians. The story continued to develop over time. For instance, in the 8th century, John of Damascus wrote that Mary died in front of the apostles, but when they went back to her tomb later, they found it empty. This led them to believe she had been taken up to heaven. These evolving stories show how the belief in Mary's Assumption grew and changed as it spread throughout the Christian world, eventually becoming an important part of Catholic and Orthodox traditions. What were the mysteries uncovered at one of the world's most revered holy sites? Recent discoveries at holy sites. In October 2016, during renovations at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, a significant event unfolded. Believed to be the burial site of Jesus Christ, the tomb within the church had remained sealed for centuries. However, a team of researchers had a rare opportunity to lift the marble slab covering the tomb. This moment allowed them to examine the area where Jesus was believed to have been laid after his crucifixion, offering a unique window into history. The tomb, traditionally enclosed in a structure called the edicule, was central to this discovery, which shed new light on Christian tradition. The following year, in 2017, restoration efforts led by Professor Antonia Moropoulou and a Greek research team continued at the edicule. Their work aimed to not only repair the site, but also explore its historical and religious significance. As the team carefully restored the structure, they used modern techniques to document the original construction of the tomb and trace its transformation over the centuries. Their findings revealed the deep reverence the site had commanded throughout history and provided important insights into its development. While repairing the edicule, the team made another unexpected discovery. Beneath the marble slab they initially uncovered, they found another layer of stone, which piqued their curiosity. This new section of the tomb was carefully explored using specialized tools, as researchers hoped to uncover relics or artifacts that had been hidden for hundreds of years. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre is a site of immense spiritual importance to millions of Christians worldwide. It is maintained by 6 different Christian denominations, including the Greek Orthodox, Roman Catholic, and Armenian Orthodox churches, who collaborate to care for the sacred site. Their joint efforts ensure that the tomb, along with the rest of the church, remains protected and accessible to the countless visitors who come to the site each year. In addition to the church's spiritual significance, it is also a hub of historical discovery. Over the centuries, the structure around the tomb has been destroyed and rebuilt multiple times, with the current building dating back to the 14th century. Today, it serves as a place where modern explorers continue to uncover relics and artifacts, each with its own story, adding layers of understanding to the deep history of the Christian faith. What theories and stories traveling through time surround the final days of Mary, the mother of Jesus? Theories and legends about Mary's final days. The final resting place of Mary remains a subject of mystery and debate. While many believe she was buried in Jerusalem, some stories suggest that Mary's remains may lie in unexpected locations, including places as far-reaching as Turkmenistan, northern Iraq, and even Pakistan. The range of possible burial sites has left many wondering if any of these theories hold a grain of truth. According to certain legends, Mary journeyed to distant lands after the death of her son, accompanied by the Apostle Thomas. These stories continue to stir curiosity and raise questions about her life after the crucifixion. One of the most intriguing tales places Mary in Turkmenistan, where it is said that she died, and Thomas witnessed her ascension to heaven. According to this version of the story, Thomas was the only apostle present during her burial in India. Upon returning with news of her heavenly ascension, Thomas faced skepticism from those who found it hard to believe such an extraordinary event. This disbelief deepened when, according to the legend, only her belt was found at the burial site, adding an element of mystery to the story. These legends of Mary's travels and the mystery surrounding her death have given rise to countless whispers and theories. Some suggest that her remains might have been moved multiple times over the centuries, leading to the different burial sites that people claim today. As more stories circulated, the mystery of her final resting place grew, with each version adding a layer of intrigue to the narrative of her last days on earth. Regardless of where she may be buried, Mary's importance in Christian tradition is undeniable. Revered for her purity, devotion, and grace, she remains a central figure of faith and veneration for millions around the world. Despite the uncertainty surrounding her last days, Mary's legacy continues to inspire Christians who hold out hope that one day the truth about her final resting place will be revealed. Could a new discovery at Mary's tomb change how we understand her life and legacy? New findings and their significance. Recent findings by archaeologists and scientists suggest that they may have uncovered what could be the tomb of the Virgin Mary. This remarkable discovery, if verified, could alter how we view Mary's life and final moments. However, there are claims that it was empty. For centuries, her story has been central to Christian faith, and this new evidence could strengthen the connection believers feel to her. It offers an opportunity to look at her life through a fresh lens and explore the historical significance of one of the most important figures in religious history. The potential discovery of Mary's tomb comes with deep significance. Beyond being a historical figure, Mary symbolizes faith, devotion, and compassion. Her influence spans continents and centuries, inspiring millions of believers worldwide. Finding her tomb would not only give us a physical link to her past, but also deepen our understanding of the Christian tradition. This discovery invites reflection on her pivotal role in the development of Christianity, which continues to resonate with people from all walks of life. While this discovery may add clarity to Mary's life, it also raises new questions. Could there be more to uncover about her experiences and her final days on earth? Each piece of evidence found brings us closer to understanding her full story, yet it also opens up new possibilities. With this latest discovery, researchers now have the chance to explore parts of Mary's life that have remained hidden for generations. The mystery surrounding her last days and where she may have been laid to rest remains an area of intense interest, and as we learn more, it's important to remember that Mary's story transcends historical fact. She represents perseverance, hope, and love, values that continue to inspire. The search for answers about her life encourages us to reflect not only on her impact, but also on the broader human experience of faith. Whether or not this new discovery reveals her final resting place, it serves as a reminder of how the stories passed down through generations shape our understanding of the past and influence our present-day beliefs. The ongoing search for Mary's tomb reminds us that her legacy is far from complete. There may still be more layers to her story waiting to be uncovered. Each new piece of evidence adds to the rich layers of her life, making us to look deeper into her influence on Christianity and the world. With every discovery, we come closer to piecing together her life and understanding her remarkable journey, ensuring that her story continues to inspire curiosity and reverence for generations to come. Did you know that Mary, the mother of Jesus, holds a significant place not only in Christianity but also in other religions, particularly Islam? Mary in Islam and other religions. In Islam, Mary, known as Maryam, is one of the most respected and revered women. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, mentions Mary more times than the Bible does, with an entire chapter, Surah Maryam, dedicated to her. Muslims believe in the virgin birth of Jesus and see Mary as a model of purity, devotion, and faith. Her story is central to Islamic teachings, emphasizing her piety and her special role as the mother of a prophet. However, Islam does not share the belief in Mary's assumption into heaven, a key Christian doctrine. Instead, she is honored as a righteous woman chosen by God. Mary's importance extends beyond Christianity and Islam. In Eastern Orthodox Christianity, she is venerated as Theotokos, meaning God-bearer. This title emphasizes her role in giving birth to Jesus, who is both fully human and divine. The Orthodox Church celebrates numerous feasts in her honor, including her Dormition, which commemorates her peaceful passing. While not a focus in Protestant denominations, some groups still respect Mary as the mother of Jesus and a key figure in the story of salvation, though they typically do not hold her in the same reverence as Catholicism or Orthodoxy. Interestingly, Mary's presence can be found in other faith traditions as well. In Hinduism, for example, some scholars have drawn parallels between Mary and goddesses like Durga, who represent motherly strength, protection, and compassion. While these comparisons are not universally accepted, they illustrate the symbolic importance of maternal figures across many religions. Even in secular and non-religious contexts, Mary is often seen as a symbol of motherhood,
I beg you, sir, may I see my son?
kindness, and unwavering faith. How has Marian devotion evolved across different cultures and historical periods? Cultural and historical context of Marian devotion. Marian devotion, the reverence of Mary, the mother of Jesus, has deep cultural and historical roots that span centuries. It began in early Christianity, where believers viewed Mary as an important figure in the story of Jesus' life. Over time, devotion to Mary became a central part of the Christian faith, particularly in the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox traditions. Early Christians in the Roman Empire admired Mary for her purity and role as the Mother of God, often seeing her as a protector and intercessor who could help them in their time of need. During the Middle Ages, Marian devotion gained even more prominence. With the spread of Christianity across Europe, Mary was often portrayed as the ideal mother and woman. Gothic cathedrals were dedicated to her, such as the famous Notre Dame in Paris, and artworks depicted her holding the infant Jesus, symbolizing her role in the salvation of mankind. This period also saw the development of prayers and practices focused on Mary, like the Rosary, which is still widely practiced by Catholics today. These rituals reflected people's deep trust in Mary as a compassionate and approachable figure who could connect them to God. Marian devotion was not limited to Europe. As Christianity spread to the Americas, Africa, and Asia, local cultures incorporated their own traditions and beliefs into their veneration of Mary. For example, in Mexico, the appearance of Our Lady of Guadalupe in the 16th century became a symbol of both religious and national identity. The image of Mary as a brown-skinned woman reflected the blending of indigenous and European cultures, and to this day, she remains a central figure in Mexican spirituality. Similarly, in the Philippines, Marian festivals are celebrated with great enthusiasm, blending Catholic teachings with local customs. In the modern era, devotion to Mary continues in various forms. Pilgrimages to Marian shrines, such as Lourdes in France and Fatima in Portugal, attract millions of visitors annually. These sites are believed to be places where Mary appeared and performed miracles, further strengthening her role as a spiritual guide and healer. Marian devotion has also adapted to contemporary life, with digital platforms offering online rosary groups and communities where people can share their devotion to Mary. What do you think the discovery of Mary's tomb could mean for our understanding of her life and legacy? Do you believe it could reshape the way the world views her story? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.